Hi there, it's Mrs Bennett, and I wanted to tell you about my adventure with books really. As you can see, there's me as a baby learning to walk, but at that stage, learning nursery rhymes and those very first books that you read or you get introduced to. I always loved those rhyming songs and things. My mum was very into that, so I was quite lucky. But yes, I moved on to books like the Ladybird books, so things like Cinderella and Rumpelstiltskin and those kind of classic stories, which was really lovely. And the next book, The Tale of Tom Kitten. I absolutely loved this story. I don't know if it was the fact that there was animals dressed in clothes, or it was about a naughty kitten who couldn't do what he was told, clothes were too small, got into a mess. But no, I loved the adventure, and I remember vividly the pictures of him getting caught by, Mr. and Mrs. Rat, who wrapped him up in pastry. They were going to cook him in a pie. So it was all very funny to me at that age. And as you can see, there's a couple of pictures of a very young Mrs. Bennett with much more blonde hair than I've got now. From there, I moved into Roald Dahl books, and obviously these are beloved around the world. Everybody loves these books because they're so engaging and they're so interesting. George's Marvelous Medicine was probably my all-time favourite book when I was growing up, because it just captured my imagination, and I always wanted to go and get a saucepan and go to the bathroom and get some toothpaste and some shampoo and fairy liquid from the kitchen and some cooking oil and just start mixing it all up. So there's me at that sort of era. And the other book I loved from Roald Dahl was The Witches, and obviously it was very popular in my time, but still today they've just remade the movie, so I think it's still going strong. As I got a bit older, I started to enjoy books of a different kind really, and the Babysitters Club was one that I especially enjoyed, and that was thanks to the fact that I was a babysitter myself at that age. I used to look after my younger brothers, and I had a large Irish family, so aunts and uncles used to ask me all the time, can you come and babysit? So I really related to the stories that these books delivered, and Anne M. Martin had a way of keeping it really interesting and making it really really real life. So I enjoyed that, and that was great. And in my high school, we had a quote in the school library, and the first time I saw it, it stuck in my mind to this day. And it's, when your child is lost in a book, at least you know where they are. And I thought that was just lovely, because no matter where you are in life, as long as you've got a book, you can go somewhere else. You can be in another realm. So it was really interesting. From there, I moved into the Sweet Valley High book series by Francine Pascal, and her stories were amazing. It was about these identical twins and the life they had and their differences, and growing up with sisters, both older and younger. I really enjoyed these stories, and so did they. And I think for that time in my life, it was I was in high school, they were in high school. Even though it was America, it was still very relatable, and I enjoyed reading about their adventures. And then finally, my interest went to point horror books, things like The Beach House or Camp Fear, Forbidden Game. These were stories that really captured my imagination. There were twisted tales of sort of thrillers where you had to try and work out who the baddie was, or who was the sinister person who was behind it all. So I found that really enjoyable. And there's me as a teenager, looking very different to how I do now. But these point horror series by various authors were really enjoyable. And from there, I've continued to read well into my adult life. Obviously, becoming a teacher, it's essential to read, but reading for pleasure and enjoying, books and stories. I currently read authors like James Patterson or Lisa Jewell, and find those really interesting. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing a bit about me and my wonderful adventure with books, and I hope you get the opportunity to read some of them yourselves. Thanks.